All right, guys, I have exciting news. The organizers behind the Women's March on Washington have announced a date for their next nationwide event. That date is March 8th. The date of the original event was January 21st. Both of these dates are well-known communist holidays. On top of that, the Communist Party of America is one of the partner organizations, and on top of that, violent radical communist Angela Davis is one of the honorary co-chairs of the organization. The January 21st holiday is the anniversary of Lenin's death. The March 8th holiday, which Lenin made a holiday and was an official holiday in the Soviet Union, was originally called the International Communist Women's Day. They eventually changed it to International Women's Day. That's what it is known as now. They had to take the term communist out of it because the term became stigmatized. And when your goal is to propagandize people into joining a cause that they don't really understand the purpose of, they have to remove the term that will prevent them from joining that cause. You tell somebody participating in this event that information, and they probably respond with something like, great, the communists are supporting what I care about. They're supporting LGBT rights or women's rights or equality or whatever it is. They would be wrong. They are not supporting those things. They are exploiting those things. They don't care about these issues. They don't care about women's rights or LGBT rights or any of that. They're exploiting the issues that can trigger people to action because people are most afraid of what's going to happen if they don't do something. They antagonize the fears. It's agitprop. They do this every year on these dates, except this time they've been able to mobilize a larger crowd because of what's going on with the election. They're manipulating you. If you're a part of these movements, you're being manipulated. They do not care about your cause. You can read about the dates they're going to do stuff on and their strategies in this book and a whole bunch of other books. This is a 10-year study into communist propaganda or a 5-year study into communist propaganda in America. And don't let the word fool you, by the way. It's globalist communists, same thing. They're globalists, and they're going to do the same thing on March 8th that they did on January 21st. And that's get a bunch of people together and scare the shit out of them. Make them think impending doom is coming. Make them think that if they don't do something now, if they don't listen to them, then a white nationalist is going to crawl up out of a sewer and eat their frickin' face off, eat their kids' frickin' face off. People up on stages are going to be yelling at them, really making them anxious, afraid. Michael Moore, Ashley Judd, Michael Moore is going to be screaming about how proud of his vagina he is and how he is no longer afraid to freely menstruate in public and how you too can also be that free if you just listen to them. How they know you're afraid. But if you listen to them, if you follow the steps they tell you to follow, if you go back to your communities and you propagate the people around you the same way that they're propagating you, they're going to tell you what to do. I get these emails. I signed up for all these emails because I wanted to see what they were telling people to do. So I know how they map it out for people, tell them exactly what to do, to propagate people. So you go back to your communities and do that, and we can potentially prevent your face from getting eaten off by a white nationalist. And if you do this, if enough of you do this, here's our promise to you. We promise you a progressive utopia. That's how it works. They agitate their fears, make them terrified that if they don't do something, the worst is going to happen, and they give them the promise of a progressive utopia, which they never intend on fulfilling. One, because it's bullshit. Two, because it's not their goals. Their goal is not to uplift other people, because that would make it harder for them. They want it to be as easy as possible for them to manipulate and control the masses. They use the population to gain political power and control, but their goal is to spread global governance by further concentrating power in the hands of the few that have it, and further increasing their power and dominance and their ability to control the masses. Look for another fun Women's March type event on May Day, May 1st, another popular communist holiday.